I've spent the last month using this device, the Chameleon URT-1 remote tuner, both at home and in the field. Today we're going to take a look at the URT-1 and its capabilities and talk about why you may want to use a remote tuner with your antenna system. Chameleon URT-1 is a remote outdoor antenna tuner for almost any type of antenna or model of transceiver. It is universal in the fact that it does not require a special control cable from the transmitter to the tuner unit. It is a wide-ranging tuner that will match non-resonant wires, verticals, and long wire antennas. It has 50 ohm coaxial ports and a wire beehive connector for added versatility. And the unit is weatherproof, so you can be mounted outdoors near the feed point of the antenna. Now, Chameleon did send me the URT-1 remote tuner for consideration, and my comments and experiences with it are my own without any outside influence. So let's head back inside, and I'm going to tell you more about this remote tuner unit. The purpose of an antenna tuner is not to tune your antenna, but to instead provide a proper impedance match to your transceiver. Modern transceivers require a 50 ohm impedance, and if there's a mismatch, the transceiver will respond by reducing the output power, and at the worst, in damage to the final amplifier components. So in order to deliver all available power to your antenna system, a proper impedance match is required. So usually the tuner, either a manual or an automatic tuner, is placed near the transceiver. This is fine in most cases. If your feed line run is short, it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. But with coaxial cable does introduce losses into the antenna system. And if your antenna has a high impedance at the feed point, that mismatch in the coaxial cable will create standing waves, and the elevated SWR can be characterized as power lost in the feed line itself. So how do we increase the overall efficiency of our antenna system? Well, one method is to move the antenna tuner from the transceiver over to the antenna's feed point. Situating the tuner at the antenna allows it to deliver the proper impedance match, which will be 50 ohms, to the feed line. Since the impedance is matched at the coaxial cable, we can run longer pieces of cable without the fear of losing energy by means of those standing waves or high SWR on the cable itself. This brings us to the Chameleon URT-1 remote antenna tuner. The URT-1 covers 1.8 to 54 megahertz and has 16,000 memories for quick recall when tuning. It can match any antenna with an impedance of 5 to 1500 ohms. That's like a 30-to-1 match. And it can handle up to 125 watts sideband or CW and 60 watts on the digital modes. Opening up the box, things might look a little familiar. The tuner is custom manufactured by Matt Tuner for Chameleon. It does look very similar to their Matt 40 remote tuner, but there are some key differences. The tuner comes in two parts. The first is the coupler box. This connects to the transceiver and to a 12-volt power source. Then your coax cable runs all the way out to the tuner box, which sits at the antenna feed point. You will notice that there is not a separate control cable for the tuner. Power and tuner control are fed through the coax cable by way of a bias T circuit. The benefit to that is that you don't have to run a second cable to the tuner unit, but the downside is that you need to initiate tunes by pressing the tuning button on the coupler. The tuner unit is constructed out of aluminum alloy and is weatherproof. On the top of the unit is a beehive connector for feeding wire or vertical antennas. On the bottom is a counterpoise or grounding connector along with two UHF female connectors. One UHF connector connects your coax run coming from the coupler, and the second is for feeding antennas that have a similar SO239 connection point. The tuner comes with a set of rails so that you can mount it to a post or board using a pair of U-bolts. An optional 12-volt AC adapter is also available. So what's the difference between the URT-1 and the Matt 40 tuner? Well, namely the addition of the 50 ohm coaxial output port and the removal of the brand-specific control cables. The URT-1 is a bit more universal in that the coupler unit will work with just about any brand or model of transceiver. Now let's head back outside. I'll install the tuner unit and we can put it on the air. Now, when people think about using a remote antenna tuners, two applications really come to mind. Number one, using it with a long wire antenna, and number two, using it with a 43-foot non-resonant vertical antenna. And that's typically the classical uses for remote antenna tuner, especially for your base system transceivers. So we're going to do the same today. What I have here is my non-resonant antenna here. It's a 71-foot piece of wire feeding into a 9-to-1 transformer, and then a coax that goes into the transceiver. And this antenna works very well. I'm pretty happy with it, but I'm gonna you know, we can always improve things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Chameleon URT-1. We're going to remove the transformer. We're going to directly feed the wire from the beehive connector on the top of the remote tuner. At the bottom of the tuner here, we're going to connect the counterpoise up to the ground connection. And then the coax feed line will be going into the coax port here that goes to the control unit for the remote tuner. We're going to cap off this antenna port. We're not going to need to use that at all. I was at a ham fest last month, and my friend Larry gave me some of these little 3D printed covers for a UHF connector. Larry, if you're selling these, drop me a line. I don't have a store or anything to pitch for you, but you wanted to see them in a video. Here's your chance. Look at that. Since we're not going to use the antenna connector, that'll protect it nice. Using the URT-1 is pretty simple. We're going to first connect the coupler to our transceiver. My main antenna, a G5RV, is connected to the LDG auto tuner. So we're going to put this one on the second antenna port on my transceiver. The antenna coax is then connected to the other port on the coupler. Finally, connect the power. The green power light should glow. If you see a red error light, that means there is a short circuit somewhere in the coax connection between the coupler and the tuner. When connecting the tuner, you cannot have any devices like switches, diplexers, or meters in the path between the coupler and the tuner. These will cause a short circuit, potentially damaging the tuner or your device. To initiate a tune, put your transceiver into a constant carrier mode like RTTY. Set the power level to 15 watts or less, briefly hit the tune button, then immediately key the transmitter. Watch the transceiver SWR meter, and it will show the resulting SWR when the tuning cycle is complete. Unkey the transmitter. A complete tuning cycle will take 5 seconds or less. At this point, you can transmit normally. When changing bands, you will reinitiate the tune process. So I really like non-resonant antennas, and what's not to love about them? With a tuner, you can be on almost any frequency, and that band agility is just a tuner match away. What's cool though is that if you use a remote tuner like the URT-1 from Chameleon, instead of a transformer or an unin at the base of your non-resonant antenna, you can do a direct match, increase the efficiency of your non-resonant antenna, and be assured that you're going to have a 50 ohm impedance going into your feed line from the tuner all the way to your transceiver. So what we're going to do today is we're going to build a Franken antenna. You've probably heard about the Rybakov antenna. It's a vertical of about 25 feet with a 4-to-1 unin at its base, and then a ground radio network. We did a review on one a few weeks ago, and just recently. So, but today I'm going to build one using my remote tuner, a Chameleon 17-foot whip, their mill extension base, which is another 105 inches, and those two combined will get you to 20 5 feet 9.5 inches. So really close to the 25 feet necessary for the Rybakov antenna. Combine that with my heavy-duty flag base and the clamp mount, ground radio network, and I think we're going to be ready to go to have our vertical Franken antenna on the air. KB9VBR Parks on the air. QRZ.
Victor Echo 9 Alpha Juliet.
Victor Echo 9 Alpha Juliet 55 into US 9806. Back to you.
Roger the 5x5. Michael, you're also 5x5. Double mix. Province of New Brunswick. Yourself.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for New Brunswick today. You have a great day in 7-3.
Thank you, so Mike. Have a nice weekend. Charlie.
All right, 7-3. The station ending, Oscar Charlie.
Yankee Charlie 2, Victor Oscar Charlie. Yankee Charlie 2, Victor Oscar Charlie. Do you copy?
Yeah, Yankee Charlie 2, Victor Oscar Charlie. Beautiful copy. 5-7 here into Wisconsin. US 9806. Back to you.
Roger, Roger. You 5 and 5. 5 and 5. A good signal. Oh, I'm your subscriber on YouTube. Oh, nice to meet you, my friend.
Hey, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I think this might be one of our first contacts. I don't remember unless we worked on 10 meters. So thanks a lot for the contact today.
Roger, Roger. I hope you have made video on YouTube, okay? Nice to meet you. KB9VBR YC2VOT 7-3. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Same here. You have a great day. Ciao. 7-3. KB9VBR Parks on the air. QRZ.
Whiskey Mexico 2, Victoria.
The Whiskey Mexico 2.
Whiskey Mexico 2, Victoria.
Whiskey Mexico 2 Victoria 55 into US 9806. Back to you.
QSL, Mike, I have you 5x3 this morning into Arizona Alpha Zulu.
All right, well, thanks a lot for Arizona today. Greatly appreciated. You have a great day in 7-3.
7-3, have fun.
Yeah, take it easy. KB9VBR Parks on the air. QRZ. Echo Alpha 1 Kilo Papa, nice copy, 5-5 into US 9806. Back to you.
Thank you for 5-5. You're 5A1 in the span. Many thanks, 93.
All right, thank you for Spain. You have a great day, 7-3. Ciao. Was there a park to park in there?
Yankee?
Is that November 4 Juliet Alpha Whiskey?
Whiskey 3, Juliet Alpha Whiskey.
Whiskey 3 Juliet Alpha Whiskey. Had a lot of mix in there. 5-9 into US 9806. Back to you.
All right, Michael, good to get you in the log again. I've got you 5-8 Papa Alpha. Thanks for the 2 parks.
All right, well, thanks for Pennsylvania. You have a great day in 7-3.
7-3.
KB9VBR Parks on the air. QRZ.
November 3, Oscar Bravo Yankee.
November 3 Oscar Bravo Yankee 5-9 into US 9806. Back to you.
You are also 5-9 into Eastern Pennsylvania.
All right, thanks for Eastern PA. You have a great day in 7-3.
33.
KB9VBR Parks on the air. QRZ.
Victor Echo 5.
Victor Echo 5 Alpha Delta Bravo.
Victor Echo 5, Papa Delta Bravo, QSL.
Victor Echo 5 Papa Delta Bravo. Thank you. 5-7 into US 9806. Back to you.
QSL, good afternoon, Michael. I have you 5-9+5 into Sierra Kilo today. Have a weekend. Thank you for your activation.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for Saskatchewan. You have a great day in 7-3.
7-3.
And then there was our park-to-park station.
Kilo Delta 4 Bravo Juliet Whiskey.
So non-resonant antennas really benefit the most from a remote antenna tuner. We're going to put a non-resonant antenna on the air. I have with me the Coffee and Ham Radios Aries non-resonant antenna. This is a 71-foot wire antenna with a 9-to-1 transformer integrated onto it. We're going to take the Chameleon remote tuner. We're going to put this close to the feed point we can, probably a short jumper, connecting the two, and then it can run a longer piece of coax directly into the transceiver itself. So let's put the Aries on the air and see how the Chameleon URT-1 handles it. Kilo Romeo 5, Echo, Echo, Echo. Gotcha, 5-7 into US 4266. Back to you.
Roger, roger, Michael. 5-5 into North Texas.
All right, thanks for North Texas today. Greatly appreciated. You have a great day in 7-3.
You too, 7-3.
And was there a park to park out there?
Yeah, park to park. Michael Chameleon, November 3, Alpha, Lima Kilo. Park US 4391. You are 5 by 3.
All right, November 3, Alpha, Lima Kilo. Thank you for the three-peat and the US 4391. Yeah, you're coming in about a 4-4 here into US 4266 in Wisconsin. Back to you.
Copy, sir. Thank you very much for the contact. Thanks for the repeat. And we're going to be packing up shop here because it's starting to snow.
All right, well, I get that. Yeah, there's a bunch of snow and crud and mud here in the park I'm at. So, yeah, get out while the getting's good.
Copy that, sir. You have a wonderful day. Thanks for taking the 3 times, and we'll catch you again later.
Roger that. You have, yeah, good to get you in the log. You have a great day in 7-3.
7-3, sir. Have a wonderful Easter.
This is KB9VBR Parks on the Air. QRZ.
Whiskey Romeo, 1 whiskey.
Whiskey Romeo 1 Whiskey. Nice 5-5 into US 4266. Back to you.
Thank you. You got a 5 and 9, strong 5 and 9 into Mike Alpha using the magic carpet today.
All right. Thanks for the Massachusetts. No, I got an end-fed random wire antenna up with a remote tuner. So something a little bit different today.
You sound wonderful.
Oh, hey, that's great to hear. Thanks for the signal report. You're actually peaking at you're peaking at an 8 now. So band's a little up and down.
Awesome. Have a good activation. Thanks for the videos.
You have a great day too in 7-3. KB9VBR Parks on the Air. QRZ.
November 1,
Whiskey Bravo 8, Quebec Zulu, Mike.
Foxtrot 4, India Lima Hotel, 5-5 into US 4266. Back to you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Good afternoon. I copy you 5 by 5 slow. Thank you. US 4260, Wisconsin. Thank you very much. 73. Apiasta.
You too. Thanks a lot for France. Always a pleasure to get you in the log. You have a great day in 7-3.
7-3.
Lima X-ray 1, Lima Charlie.
Lima X-ray 1, Lima Charlie, 5-5 into US 4266. Back to you.
November 1, Whiskey Radio Oscar. Kilo Sharp.
Okay, the November 1.
November 1, Alpha Tango Victor.
November 1 Alpha Tango Victor, big 5-9 into US 4266. Back to you.
Copy the 5-9. You're 5 by 7 into Mike Alpha.
All right, thanks for Massachusetts. You have a great day in 7-3.
7-3.
KB9VBR Parks on the Air. QRZ.
Oscar. Lima 7, Kilo Charlie.
Is it Kilo Charlie again?
This is Alpha Lima 7, Kilowatt Charlie in Alaska.
All right, Alpha Lima 7, Kilo Charlie, good afternoon. I got you 5-7 into US 4266. Back to you.
Okay, thanks. It's a little bit up and down, but you were just peaking the same, so I'm going to say 5-7 both ways.
Yeah, you took a little bit of a fade there, but good strong signal still, so I got you in the log today.
Okay, thanks a lot. Appreciate the activation.
You too. You have a great day in 7-3. KB9VBR, Parks on the Air. QRZ.
November 4, Whiskey Radio Oscar.
So what are my thoughts of the Chameleon URT-1 remote antenna tuner? First off, I gotta say this unit is really well constructed. The tuning unit consists of an aluminum alloy body, and it does have a certain amount of heft to it. It wins points on that alone. Taking this out into the field was a breeze, as I didn't have to run a separate control cable to power or operate the tuner. Operationally, it tunes very fast, and I had no problem finding a match that was 1.5 to 1 or less on any of the bands I was working with. I think the only time I really had an issue with this when I was getting a good match is when I was using it with my 25-foot Franken-tenna on the 15-meter band. It had a real hard time finding anything better than about 1.8 to 1. It did perform quite well on 10, 15, 20, and 40 meters, despite the bands not being in the best of condition. I made over 210 contacts on those bands when I was out at the Mountain Bay State Trail testing the tuner and that non-resonant, very large vertical whip. With the end-fed random wire antenna, I connected the tuner to the UHF connection on that antenna. In addition to the 9-to-1 transformer that was on the antenna, this tuner really had an exceptionally fast tune times. Every time it found a match at rocket speed. For when I was out at that activation at the Ackley Wildlife Area, I ended up with 176 contacts on 10, 12, 15, 17, and 20 meters. The really neat thing about remote tuners in that regard is that, and non-resonant antennas to match, is that they are really frequency agile. It's a breeze to switch bands. Once everything is set up, I just change bands on the transceiver, hit that tune button, and we're on the next band. I don't have to get out and adjust the whip and make any of those kind of adjustments. So I really enjoyed it for that. I had the same experience here at home with this 71-foot non-resonant wire. I was able to get good matches on 10 through 80 meters. Operationally, the antenna performed just as well, maybe even a little bit better than I normally have it set up with the 9-to-1 on-in running into the 75 feet of coax back over to where the transceiver is. And I think the reason for that is that because I had a better match on my coax back to the transceiver, I was losing less power in the coax itself. So, but otherwise, it's really, I really enjoyed it, and I think it might live out here in a semi-permanent basis as the external tuner for this long wire antenna. As for the things I don't quite like about this tuner is that you do have to press the tune button on the coupler to initiate a tune. If your SWR changes or you change bands, the tuner's not going to automatically sense that and retune on the fly. It needs to be activated. This involves switching to a carrier mode like RTTY, pressing the tune button on the coupler, and then transmitting a carrier. Not the worst thing in the world, but it's not a fully automatic process like some other brands of tuners may have. But those tuners also require a separate control and power cable. So the upside of this tuner is that you don't have to run separate control lines to operate it. Your power runs through the coax, which makes installation a breeze. But final words, I've been looking for a remote tuner at the Hamfest, maybe for about 6 months or so. Everything I've seen is either overpriced or in pretty bad shape. So it was a bit serendipitous for Chameleon to be sending me this one, as it opens up the door to a bunch of different antenna configurations that I'll now be able to demonstrate. I've got some great ideas to put to use with this tuner, so you're going to want to stick around for that. But that's my review of the Chameleon URT-1 remote antenna tuner. Product links are down in the video description. Have you had any experience with remote tuners? I'd love to hear them. Why don't you leave them in the comments down below? But otherwise, thank you, Chameleon, for this tuner. I'm Michael, KB9VBR. You have a great day, and 7-3.